Picture this. You're in a conversation with a group of native speakers. They're all laughing, talking fast, and you're just there. You have a perfect sentence in your head. It's smart, it's funny, you know it's grammatically correct, but your mouth, it just won't open. You feel this like wall between your brain and your tongue. And by the time you're ready, the moment is gone. The conversation has moved on, and you just feel invisible.
Anna, that is painfully real. I think every single person listening right now just shuddered. They just felt a cold chill because that feeling, it's the worst. It's like you're screaming but no one can hear you.
Exactly. And that, everyone, is the B1 intermediate plateau. It's not about being a beginner anymore. You know hundreds, maybe thousands of words. You understand grammar, but you feel stuck. And today on Enlycast, we're not just going to talk about it, we're going to give you the map to get out.
Yes, the escape plan. I'm Sam, by the way.
And I'm Anna. And we want to start by saying if you feel this way, you are not broken. You are not failing. You are completely 100% normal. This plateau is a natural part of the journey.
It's like a rite of passage, a really, really annoying one. I like to call it the Valley of Despair.
The valley of despair. That's so dramatic, Sam. But it's true. You look back and you see how far you've come from being a beginner. That was a steep climb, but you saw progress every single day.
Right? Every day was like, wow, I learned 10 new words, or I understood a whole sentence.
But now, in the valley, you look up at fluency, and it looks like a mountain that's impossible to climb. It feels so far away. And the daily progress, you just don't feel it anymore. It's this illusion that you've stopped learning completely.
The illusion of progress. I like that because that's what it is, an illusion, a trick your brain is playing on you. I remember with Spanish, I hit this point where I felt like my brain was just full, like no more new words could fit inside. I was studying for hours and felt like I hadn't learned a single new thing. It was so frustrating.
Me too, with French. I actually cried over a textbook. I just thought, maybe this is it. Maybe this is as good as I'll ever be. And that thought it's heartbreaking when you've worked so hard.
Okay, so we want you to get involved. We're going to pause for a moment. We want you to really connect with this feeling because acknowledging it is the first step.
Take a second. What was the last situation you felt stuck like that? In a meeting? With a friend? What happened? Try to say it out loud just for you.
All right, welcome back. It's tough to think about, right? But now we know where we are. We're in the valley. So the next question is why? Why does this happen to literally everyone?
And the answer is a simple economic idea, actually. It's called diminishing returns.
Whoa, whoa. Economics, don't scare them away, Anna. Let me break it down. Think about going to the gym. The very first month you lift weights, what happens? You see huge progress. You get stronger every single week. It's exciting.
Right, your body is shocked. Everything is new.
Exactly. But after 6 months, to get just a tiny bit stronger, you have to work so much harder. The same amount of effort gives you a much smaller result. That's diminishing returns. And it's the same with English.
That's such a great metaphor. In the beginning, you learn hello, thank you, my name is. These are high impact words. They open up entire conversations. But at B1, you're not learning hello. You're learning the difference between although, though, and even though.
Much smaller details. They are important for sure, but they don't feel as revolutionary. Each new piece of information gives you a smaller boost. So you study for an hour and maybe you learn one new idiom. It feels like nothing compared to learning 20 new survival words as a beginner.
And because you can't see the progress easily, you lose clarity. That's a key word here, clarity. You lose a clear vision of your own improvement. You start to think, am I even learning? Is this working?
That's the dangerous question. And your brain, trying to be efficient, says, hey, this is a lot of work for a small reward. Maybe we should just, watch Netflix instead.
Totally. So the problem isn't that you've stopped learning. The problem is that your system for not noticing your learning is broken. You need a new measuring stick.
A new measuring stick. Love that. So let's do another check in. Let's try to fix that broken measuring stick just for a second.
Okay, think about the last month of your English learning. I want you to find just one tiny piece of evidence that you're still moving forward. What is just one new word or phrase you learned and actually used? Can you remember it?
See, it's probably there. Maybe you learned a phrasal verb like look into, or you finally understood a line from a song. It's small, but it's not zero, and that's where the solution starts. It starts with the small thing.
Yes. So we've validated the feeling, we understand the logic behind it, diminishing returns. Now let's talk about the escape plan. And the key word for this entire plan is a word from physics, momentum.
My favorite word. Momentum is your new best friend. Imagine you have to push a giant heavy ball across
Okay.
Okay, the first push is incredibly hard, right? You use all your strength just to get it to move a tiny bit. It feels impossible. That's starting to study when you feel stuck.
Right. The motivation is just not there.
But what happens after you give it a few more pushes? It starts to roll, and then it gets easier and easier and easier to keep it rolling. That's momentum. In English learning, you can't go from zero to hero in one day. You have to build momentum with small, consistent wins.
And we mean really small. Your goal is no longer become fluent. That goal is too big, it's crushing you. Your new goal is get one small win today.
Give us some examples, Anna. What does a small win look like?
Okay, it's not study grammar for an hour. It's find one example of the present perfect in a news article. It's not learn 30 vocabulary words. It's learn one phrasal verb and write one sentence with it. It's listening to one song and understanding one new line of the lyrics. That's it.
Yes, so easy it's almost impossible to fail. And here's the crucial part. You have to celebrate that win. You have to literally tell yourself, I did it. Or even better, write it down. Keep a win journal.
Oh, I love that. A win journal. Because then on those days when you feel like you're going nowhere, you have a book full of evidence, proof that you are moving forward. It restores that clarity we were talking about.
Exactly. Every entry is a little push on that giant ball. After a week of daily pushes, that ball starts to roll, and your motivation starts to come back. Not because you suddenly became fluent, but because you proved to yourself that you can still make progress.
This process builds something incredibly important, resilience. That's our third keyword. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from a difficult situation. And once that ball is rolling, once you have that motivation back, you can start to be more strategic. Building momentum is step one, but directing that momentum is step two. It's about working smarter, not just harder.
Bounce back. Love that phrasal verb.
It's perfect, right? You're going to have bad English days, days where you feel invisible in a conversation again. But if you've been collecting small wins, you have the strength to say, okay, today was tough, but yesterday I learned a new phrase. I'm still in the game. I'll try again tomorrow. That is resilience.
It's a superpower for language learners, and you build it brick by brick with every small win.
Okay, so let's make this practical. This is our last pause, our last moment for you to speak. We want you to build your first bit of momentum right now. So, we've built momentum. The ball is rolling, but where is it rolling? Just pushing it randomly across the field isn't enough. This brings us back to what I mentioned earlier. Step two is directing that momentum.
What is one tiny, super easy English goal you can set for yourself tomorrow? Not next week, not someday, tomorrow. Say it out loud. What's the plan? Exactly. So, how do we direct it? It's not enough to just do English every day. We need a target, a destination.
And that target is your personal weak spot. At the beginner stage, your weakness is, well, everything. But at B1, you have strengths and specific hidden weaknesses. Directing your momentum means becoming a detective and finding those weaknesses.
A detective, I like that. So, where do I get my magnifying glass and detective hat? How do you actually find these hidden weaknesses?
Amazing. Whatever you just said, that is your mission. That is your first push on the ball. Do it and then write it down. Start your win journal.
So let's recap the escape plan. Step 1, validate the feeling. It's normal to feel stuck in the valley of despair. You're not alone.
Step 2, understand the logic. Progress slows down because of diminishing returns. You're not failing, you're refining. You just need to regain clarity.
And step 3, build momentum with tiny, consistent wins. Focus on what you can do today, not the giant mountain of fluency. Those small wins build resilience.
The intermediate plateau feels like an ending, but it's actually a beginning. It's the start of a more mature, more patient phase of your learning. It's where you go from just learning English to becoming a resilient, independent English user.
That's it exactly. You're not stuck. You're just gathering strength for the next big climb. You have absolutely got this.
Thank you for listening to Enlycast, your English daily podcast. Go get that small win.